Hello, Algebra 1. We are ready to move on to our second day of Indicator 11. So we are looking at we are in Indicator 12. I don't even know. Indicator 12, Day 2. So we're still working with domain and range. Domain is doing our x values in a relation, and range always corresponds to your y values. Now, just remember, in graphs we write them as inequalities, and in ordered pairs or sets we write them as a list from least to greatest. And we are actually going to do some new examples today. Your assignment will be kind of a mix between both. So, for our first example we are going to look at today, I'm going to tell you, so for our first example we are going to find the range of this equation if the domain is, and I'm going to give you a set. All right, so we have 5 numbers in our domain, and these are the x values. So what we're going to do is we are going to plug in each one of these x values and get y values to correspond. So when x equals -3, y would be equal to, we're simply just taking those values and plugging them in. So we already have a negative, but x is -3 plus 3. So 2 negatives would turn into 3 plus 3, which is 6. All right, so for our range, this is our first number, 6. All right, then we have to do that for when x is -1. And to save space, I'm actually going to write it this way. So our second value is 4. And then, bear with me, I'm moving my camera just a little bit. All right, and then our next value is when x is 0, so y would be equal to -0, or just 0, plus 3. Which is 3. All right, then we have x is 2. Oh, excuse me. -2 plus 3 would be 1. And then our last one, x is 5, y equals -5 plus 3, which is -2. So the range for this would be, and we write these numbers in order from least to greatest. So our range would be the set -2, 1, 3, 4, and 6. So that would be our range. So anytime you are given a set, you are just going to take these in. So I'm going to go back up to the original question. So we are going to take those values, and these are the x values that we plug in. So we plug in each one into the equation for x. We get numbers, follow order of operations always, and then at the very end we write them as a set from least to greatest, and those would be our y values. So that's the first type of problem that is new for today. You guys are going to have some graphs, so I just want to review that. So give me just a second to erase. Oh, bear with me. Okay, so if I give you a graph, All right. So if I give you a graph that looks like this, make sure that connects there. All right, so if I give you this graph and I tell you to tell me the domain and range. When we write when we have graphs, we write it as an inequality. So if I tell you to fill in the blanks like this, so if I give you something like this, I'm going to try to lift this up, get a better angle. Okay, so if I have something like this, we have a graph and I'm asking you for domain and range. So first of all, we need to ask ourselves first, what values does domain correspond with? And domain corresponds with X, range corresponds with Y, so we always put X and Y in there. So I always just recommend starting from one point and like making a frame. No extra space around the edges, just right on the edges. So we are looking at the x-axis first. My lids are getting stuck on my markers. All right, so this is my x-axis. So the smallest number on the x-axis is over here, which is -1, 2, 3, 4. That's -4. And then the range goes all the way over to +1, 2, 3, 4. The smallest number and the biggest number on the x-axis. And then our range starts down at -1 right here and then goes up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from -1 to +5. So there's all kinds of points in that range, but the smallest value is at -1, the widest range is at +5. So just to review, you will have a couple graphs to fill in the blanks. And then stating domain and range. Domain goes with X, range goes with Y's. Now I do have a new type of question I want to ask you. And this is dealing with domain and range. So I'm going to ask you today, is point a solution to the equation? All right, so if I give you a coordinate, an X and a Y coordinate, you plug them in. If you get a true statement when you plug in those values, then you're going to say, yes, it is a solution. If you get a false statement when you plug it in, you're going to say, no, it's not a solution. So I'm going to give you an equation like this. 3x equals y plus 2. All right, so the first point I'm going to ask you is 2, 4 a solution? So what you're going to do is you are going to plug in a 2 where you see an x, because that's the x coordinate. And then you're going to plug in a 4 where you see a y. So for this top equation, we have 3 times 2 equals 4 plus 2. Is this a true statement? So we just have to do the math. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. Is 6 equal to 6? Absolutely. So we would say, yes, this is a solution to the equation. Now, what if you had this? Zero, 1. So I'm going to plug in 0 for x and 1 for y. So I'm going to ask myself, is 3 times 0 equal to 1 plus 2? 3 times 0 is 0. 1 plus 2 is 3. Are these equal to each other? Absolutely not. So then we're going to say, no, this is not a solution. So If you plug it in and you get a true statement, it's a solution. If you plug it in and you don't, it is not. Now, more than one ordered pair can work. So this 3, 7, does that work for this equation? So we are doing 3 times x, so 3 times 3. I want to know, is that equal to y, which is 7 plus 2. 3 times 3 is 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. That one works. So we would say, yes, this is. So you will be given some homework questions today that you will have. It's not a multiple choice. It's like part A, part B, part C, part D, just like I did on the examples here. So what you will be given is you will be given an A through D. So you're actually checking 4 points. So for each one, you will have a yes or no. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It totally depends on the question. But I will do one more like this. Is it a solution or not? Just so you guys can be prepared for that. All right, so same thing. If you get a true statement, we're going to say yes. If we get a false statement, we're going to say no. All right, my first one I'm going to look at is -2, 9. The second one I'm going to look at is -1, 6. We're going to say yes or no. All right, so for the first equation, can you see the equation? And there we go. All right, so the first one that goes in for x, this is going to go in for y. So I want to know, is 9 equal to -5 times -2 plus 1? So we do order of operations. We get positive 10 plus 1. Is this going to work? Absolutely not. 9 does not equal 10 plus 1. So we're going to say no. All right, on the second one, we're plugging in. I want to know, is 6 equal to -5 times -1 plus 1? Excuse me again. And I'll say the dust from the markers really get me. All right, so then we have 6 equals, 2 negatives would be a positive 5 plus 1. Do you guys think that's going to work or not? 6 is equal to 5 plus 1? You betcha. So just remember on those, you are plugging in each one. It is not a select one. You can have more than one yes and more than one no. So those are not multiple choice. That is like we just did a part A and a part B. So you're going to have on your homework, there's going to be 2 homework problems where you're checking for solutions. So these are going to be a part A, part B, part C, part D. I want to see work for all of those before you say yes or no. So a lot of your homework is review from yesterday. So you can go back to yesterday's video or send me an email if you have questions about specific problems. And then there's a few that are new. We will be taking our quiz this week. On what day? Is it Thursday? Yes, we are quizzing on Thursday. We will review Wednesday. The review assignment will be available online. You have all day to work on it. I will be available on Wednesday all day if you guys have questions. And then Thursday we will quiz, and then Friday we're going to start a new lesson. So I hope that you guys have a good understanding of domain and range and checking for solutions after today. But again, don't hesitate to reach out, email me if you need anything. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Enjoy the beautiful weather this week. I'm looking outside my window right now and I just want to be outside. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have a great day.